Welcome to the May edition of the Cairns Report. It's great to be here with our co-presenters from Holding Redlich, Bell Property Cairns and Grant Thornton. Some key findings from this month's report, we'll discuss those in a second, but it's great to see the employment scene is improving in Cairns. Tourism, anecdotally at least, is enjoying a good run. We've also seen, of course, house prices go up yet again, which is leading to a bit of a rental crisis here in Cairns. To discuss it further, let's have a chat to our co-presenters. Andrew, to you at Grant Thornton, what are your clients telling you about the employment scene? We saw in this Cairns report that the unemployment rate dropped, which is a great sign locally. We're now fairly close to the national average. What are your clients telling you at Grant Thornton?
Yeah, the clients at Grant Thornton, they're across many industries, but particularly those in the tourism industry are seeing a real shortage of resources, particularly the absence of backpackers from overseas. Those casual workers that would come in and serve tables, serve behind the bar, work in the cleaning behind the scenes. They're just not there at the moment, and the owner managers are really having to take on that burden themselves, and it's putting a lot of stress on the actual owners of businesses to actually fill the gap.
And we saw, of course, the Prime Minister only in the last 24 hours talk about international borders remaining closed, so that's a challenge for us going forward.
Absolutely, the uncertainty of what the future might hold, and in terms of the domestic population wanting to go overseas, now faced with we're only travelling interstate, but certainly the absence of international tourists coming in and those international workers coming in is going to sustain the pressure that owners are feeling for a lot longer than perhaps anyone anticipated.
And who would have thought we'd be in this spot of trying to find people rather than let people go 12 months ago?
Absolutely.
Ranjit from Holding Redlich, to you now. It's budget week. We've had some big announcements already for our region. What are some of the highlights that you've seen out of that budget?
Well, particularly from a properties perspective, seeing the $10 billion reinsurance fund that has come through, that's something that has been lobbied for a long time locally by the leading industry bodies and also by our local federal member. And the question now is, what tangible difference will that make? There's some potential challenges I see, particularly for the unit space. I'm not sure how that will actually impact the unit premium prices. That is of critical importance. It's important because that is one sector, the unit stock, that really hasn't moved forward. Over the last 12 months, we're seeing a lot of demand for housing, but we need that reduction in strata title insurance premiums, because not only is it impacting the demand for current stock, it's also meaning that there is no new stock coming on the market, because the prices that are required to be paid for insurance premiums generally mean that most buyers aren't keen and don't have an appetite for that sort of stock. That's then important because we're hearing there's a big challenge for rental demand, and if we're not bringing on new stock in terms of unit developments in particular, I'm not sure how we house the workers, and in particular our employment sector, particularly for professional staff, is still very CBD centric. So people do want to gravitate close towards the CBD.
And we saw in the latest Cairns report that unit prices, in fact, went down, the median price, whereas houses, as you said, strong demand still there. Nice segue now to Joel from Bell Property Cairns. It's always the hot topic, real estate, property prices. A quick overview, what are you seeing in the market at the moment?
So generally homes have had really strong demand. On market time is down massively, prices are up. I work predominantly in Palm Cove market space. The median price in Palm Cove has gone up by 34.5% in 12 months.
Wow.
Obviously, it's on a small sample size at the moment, but it indicates that high value property is selling fast as well. As you said in regards to units, yes, in over Cairns, the actual unit price has come down slightly. Some markets are up a little bit, but the growth is not comparable to house prices currently. And yes, body corporates play a big part in that as well. And a lot of the older buildings that are around, the body corporates do slowly go up in time, and at some point they can become quite expensive to just own property.
Now for us to wrap up, Andrew, back to you. Just your thoughts on the state of play in the Cairns economy right now, and just a little bit of a crystal ball over the next couple of months. Any thoughts?
I think, Gavin, we've got more reasons to be optimistic than pessimistic, and as you alluded to, who thought we would be in this position 12 months ago? I think the real key is getting more confidence in knowing when the international border will open, and that plays into the vaccine story, and generally people being more confident to accept people coming in from overseas more readily. So I think more reasons to be optimistic, but still some way to go.
Still some work to do. Ranjit, to you for a wrap up.
I look, as lawyers, always focused on the challenges ahead, because they're the things that become constraints to growth, and obviously skilled tradespeople, skilled professionals. We've got a massive challenge as a region on our hands. How do we work collectively, local government, state government, federal government, and the business sector, to attract and retain that talent?
And housing comes into that, of course, because no point moving here if you can't find a rental property.
We do need more housing for people to take these jobs that we need people to fill. So, yeah, it's a bit of a problem at the moment.
That's a big one. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for being part of this month's Cairns Report video.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this edition of the Cairns Report. Don't forget to head to the website, cairnsreport.com.au, download it for free and sign up for the email subscription service. We'll see you again next month.